Welcome back to Our Community. Susie Thomas here with you, visiting with Heather Campbell. She's president and CEO of Big Brothers Big Sisters in our area. And how can 1 hour a week be this life-changing when I think that most of the children, many of the children that you would be encountering could even be in gangs, and the reason that they go for gangs is because they need that family tie that they're not getting in the home. When you have that kind of an influence in society, how can 1 hour a week make that this much of a difference?
That's a great question. I want to go back to some of my personal experience. A while back, years ago, my husband came home from a Rotary presentation. Our children were little at the time, and he said, I think I want to be a big brother. And my first impression was, are you crazy? We don't have time for that. We have these little kids, we have all this stuff going on. And he is a social worker by trade and a counselor. And he said, I really feel like I'm called to do this. I really think this is necessary. Well, that just plays the dirty card. When you use the word called, how do you say no?
Yeah. How do you say no to that?
So anyway, I said, okay, how about 6 months? Let's do it for 6 months. If it doesn't work out, that's fine. We'll move on. So David became a part of our family. Years went by, and I never thought anything of it any other time. And to answer your question about how 1 hour a week makes a difference, David said to me once as he got older, he's now a student at Cleveland State University. He's going to graduate in May. And he said, Matt was my friend when he didn't have to be my friend. And I thought, oh, how simple that really is.
Yeah.
There was no connection between him and my husband, Matt, and David that was binding in any way. They weren't related. They weren't even a coach. My husband had nothing to gain or lose in being friends with David. And yet to David, that was the most impactful thing, was that he was his friend when he did not have to be. He chose to be my friend. And I think that if you think about it in terms of significance or importance or relevance in society today, that's not what we all want, is to feel significant, to feel relevant, to feel like we have something to offer. And when someone speaks into your life and says, I'm willing to give up whatever I might be doing for this hour a week some other time, I'm willing to give that up to be with you. I think that says that in loud volumes to these kids, in more ways than we think about, because maybe we've always had that, and so it doesn't resonate quite the same way with us. But I will never forget that statement, as simple as it might be, is he chose to be my friend when he did not have to be.
There's got to be somebody listening right now thinking, okay, I'm getting that same calling, I'm getting that tug on my heart. What is the first step? How do they contact you? And then you've mentioned some training that's available, which is important.
Yes, that's correct. The first thing they would do is call the Big Brothers Big Sisters office. Our office is located in New Philadelphia. We do serve people in Tuscarawas and Carroll County, so if you live or work in one of those markets, you'd be eligible to participate with us. You could go to 330-339-6916. That's our office number. You can also go to our website, which is a host of letters. Hopefully you'll make them out okay. It's BBBSECO.com, which stands for Big Brothers Big Sisters, East Central Ohio. There's an online application that you can download from there. If you can't remember any of those, you can go to BBBSA, which is Big Brothers Big Sisters of America. .org, and you put your zip code in, and they'll direct you to whatever agency supports the area that you live in. So I want to make sure I'm not amiss at saying that there is a Big Brothers Big Sisters here in Stark County. There's one in Summit County, and a lot of the surrounding areas. So if you don't currently reside or work in Carroll or Tuscarawas County, you still have the opportunity to be engaged in your local agency. So I would recommend going to that site, putting your zip code in, and then they'll direct you to the proper agency.
They give you the right one. You get placed with the right
because it can
child.
be tricky. You could search the phone book or try to look around, and you might get confused about which one you belong to. But I think that's the safest way to go about being connected to your local agency.
You have an unusual request. You need a new board member.
Yeah, it's unusual that we would talk about this in a radio broadcast, but we are currently accepting applications for Big Brothers Big Sisters board members. And we meet once a month on the second Monday of every month from 5:30 to 7 at the New Philadelphia office of Big Brothers Big Sisters. We ask that board members be able to make connections in the community that help our agency grow, whether it be through volunteer recruitment, financial stability, as far as even little recruitment, the children referrals. So we're looking for people from social service agencies, education, faith-based organizations. We're looking for someone who might be in a marketing capacity at their agency. You do not need to necessarily reside in Tuscarawas or Carroll County, but you have to be willing to make the travel to the agency meetings on the second Monday of the month. We ask that board members raise an additional $2,000 each year in new monies, which really sounds like a lot at first, but it comes about rather quickly because it can be in combination of participation in events, sponsorship from your company, local participation. And so it's not that difficult. Mostly we just have a good time. We talk about success stories and we share some metrics and measure how the agency is doing and things of that nature. But my board is pretty easygoing, laid back. We have some fun times together at holiday. We have like a holiday party and things like that. So if anybody's interested, I'd love to hear from them.
And they don't necessarily have ever has served as a big brother or a big sister.
No, actually, it's not a requirement at all. In fact, a number of our board members have, and some never have. So it doesn't really necessarily lend itself to an expectation that you will even when you become a board member. But we just ask that you be interested in serving children, that you have a passion for making a difference in children's lives, and also be willing to make connections, whether it be through your personal or your professional relationships for Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Wonderful. All right. Give the number again or website again for all these interested people to
330-339-6916. You can also search for us as Big Brothers Big Sisters of East Central Ohio. Our website should pop up for you as well.
Perfect. All right. You mentioned events. You've got a couple coming up. Let's talk about those.
Sure. The Big Brothers Big Sisters actually nationwide has our largest fundraiser, which is called Bowl for Kids' Sake. And about, I think, 500,000 bowlers across the country will be participating in the month of March to raise money for Big Brothers Big Sisters across the United States. And our event is March 11th in Carroll County at Atwood Lanes from 5 to 7 and 7 and 9. And also on March the 12th at Boulevard Lanes, Alpa Lanes, or Cy Young Lanes, all in the in the Tuscarawas County area from 12 to 2 and 2 to 4. And really it means that groups of 4 to 6 people would get together and form a team, and they would raise pledges to support their participation as a Bowl for Kids' Sake bowler. We have some great online fundraising tools. The website for this event is bowl-forkids.com, so it's real easy to find. If you'd like more information, I encourage you to visit there or to call the office.
And the sponsorship is just in support of the bowler. It's not like you're pledging for how many pins they knock down.
No.
And you don't have to be an awesome bowler to participate.
No, actually, you can actually be terrible at this event. We actually put up bumpers. We do cosmic bowling at some of the locations, so it's perfectly dark in there, and nobody has any clue whether you knocked out any pins at all.
That's great.
It's funny, when my husband was a big brother, this was the only time of year we ever bowled, and believe me, it's terrible. Like, the first game might be great, but by the second game, I don't know what happens to my hand, but it hurts. It's terrible. It's not good. And we have kids that bowl. It's a family-friendly event. We have pizza and pop. We give away door prizes. Just come out and have a really good time and hear a little bit about the mission of Big Brothers Big Sisters. We have a lot of matches that will work the event and give you a chance to talk to them about their experiences, why they do what they do, and what the child's getting out of it from the participant's mouth, which is always a great opportunity, I think, to hear a little bit more about Big Brothers Big Sisters. But like I said, this event is something that Big Brothers Big Sisters across the nation do, and it makes it fun because you're part of something really big. All the costs for the event are underwritten by our sponsors, so every dollar that you raise for the event and pledges goes directly to programming at Big Brothers Big Sisters, which is great. So it's 100% tax deductible. The website allows you to register on there and post it to your Facebook, your LinkedIn account, your Twitter account. It has email templates you can send all your friends and get them excited about giving to you. So it's really, really easy. Everybody loves online giving because you can just send somebody a note. They get on there with their credit card. Their receipt comes directly to them, so you don't have to do any of that.
It's the way to go.
It's perfect. It's perfect. And it just makes you have access to a lot of people that you might not have time to get in touch with otherwise.
That's right.
But if you're still doing it the traditional way and gathering the money too, that's fantastic too. We have great prizes. One of the things that we tell people is for every $25 they collect in pledges, the person who's making the pledge to them gets the chance to win a 48-inch smart TV with Wi-Fi valued at $500, thanks to one of our sponsors. So that's always great. So if you're thinking about giving 20, you might bump up to that 25 and get a chance to win one chance into that raffle for every $25 that you donate.
And that, again, is March 11th and 12th. 11th in Carroll County, 12th in Tusk.
That's correct.
And if you really want to do both, I'm sure you can.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're always looking for volunteers too. So even if you're not someone who wants to bowl, you can always come out and help us serve pizza, hand out raffle prizes. If you just want to come out and hang out and give about an hour of your time, we'd love to have you at any of the centers, volunteer your time. And I think the other thing too is we have phantom bowling, so you can register to bowl. Nobody's actually expecting you, since it's not based on a per pin pledge, nobody's actually expecting you to go out and bowl. So if you choose not to bowl, that's perfectly fine too. We have people that do that raise the money during this time of year during our campaign, but they, just don't really like bowling, or they're not even in town. We have mentors that are currently not in town. And so, they're like, well, I'm not going to be here, but I really want to be involved and get the word out about my participation with Big Brothers Big Sisters. So we call that phantom bowling, and we'd welcome anybody to do that with us.
What a great idea.
Yeah. Who doesn't want to do an event they don't have to go to, right?
Yes.
It's perfect.
And you still help.
That's right.
Some people might be thinking, okay, I really don't bowl, but I golf. Do you have anything for golfers?
Yeah, actually, we have a golf outing that's held in July. This year it's on July 15th. It's a Friday at Wilkshire Golf Course, which is in Bolivar, Ohio, which I'm not a golfer, but every year when we have it there, everybody says it's one of the best courses around the area to golf at and have a great time. We're accepting, at this point, you could call the agency. We put you on a hold list. We're just sending out our save the dates now. Our committee just starts meeting in March, so, some of the details are yet to be worked out, but it's always a great time. We have lunch at the turn, and then we have a steak dinner at the end. There's always prizes, and there's a cash prize for the first place team.
So much fun. Those are always a good time. And again, it raises money for such a good cause. We're speaking with Heather Campbell, President and CEO of Big Brothers and Big Sisters for, what is it, East Central Ohio?
East Central Ohio. Yeah, we
go.
serve Carroll and Tuscarawas counties.
So it has got to have been very rewarding for you. Talk about what this means to you personally.
Well, like I said, my first experience was as the wife of a big brother.
Right.
And I saw the difference it made with my husband's little David. At the time, I was a stay-at-home mom, and when my daughter went to college in 2012 after graduating from high school, I was looking for full-time employment. The current director at that time had decided to take another position, and that opening came up. And so my husband came home. He said, "Hey, I think you'd be a good fit for this." And I said, "All right, fine." So I signed up. Sometimes you don't really know what you're getting into.
That's true.
I'll tell you, in the almost 4 years that I've been there, I've seen so much success, so much. Not just with the littles, but our bigs have changed too. They'll tell you that they learn a lot about themselves. They learn a lot about humanity as a whole, community. Sometimes some of these kids that are in need are just right down the road from you, and maybe you just didn't see it. You just didn't know, or you didn't know how to help. And our agency has given them the tools to be able to engage and be helpful, And so I think for me, when you make a difference that changes a child's future, like I talked about with James,
yes,
there's nothing more rewarding than knowing that because you placed two people together and you helped grow that relationship, that somebody's life is forever changed. It's the best thing ever.
Well said. Definitely want to give you the website again. It is bbbseco.com. Check it out. You want to mark March 11th, 12th on the calendar, as well as July 15th, all you golfers. And Heather Campbell, thank you so much for joining us.
Thanks, Susie.
And thank you for joining us this morning on Our Community.